Hello everyone. By popular demand, I'll be bringing you some footage of the Smiths Everest today. This watch, for whatever reason, does not have a lot of video footage on YouTube currently. I think there's the Time Factor's promotional video, which is just their stills from the site, and one other guy recorded some footage, but I figured this could be helpful. I'm not really going to talk about the history of the brand um, or the design or anything, because I feel like a lot of people have already done that, probably better than I could. So I've had this for about 4 days now. I set it Wednesday morning. It is now Sunday afternoon, and it is exactly 5 seconds off. So that's pretty good timekeeping for my standards. Uh, One of the things you'll notice as soon as you Google this watch, you get generally two concerns. One is people who are afraid that the dial, these minute hashes here, they're afraid the minute hashes are too long, and they're afraid that the hands are too short. I would say that that really is not much of an issue in person. In pictures before I bought it, I could definitely understand that concern, but looking at it in person on a wrist, that's really not something that worries me, much less noticeable. And I certainly haven't had any trouble telling the time with it. The other concern that people tend to have is the lug-to-lug size, which on this it is 50 millimeters. I'm sorry, this this setup here is on my webcam, and it's not real great at focusing, it seems. So I'm trying to get some good footage. Anyways, it's 50 millimeters lug to lug, and for a lot of people, they're worried that it will they'll have significant overhang over their wrists. But for me, I mean, my wrist is very slightly under 7¼ inches, and I haven't had any problem with that whatsoever. In fact, I'll try it on. So for me, you can see 7¼ inches. Let's see if we can get focus here. Getting closer works better. There we go. 7¼ inches. The lugs are not overhanging my wrist at all. I would say that this lug-to-lug length will look great on anyone with a wrist from 7 to 8 inches at least. And I know I've read reviews by people who say that that their 6½ inch wrist looks great with it as long as they're wearing on a strap, because this metal bracelet does add a couple millimeters on either side. So, what do I like about it? Well, 14½ millimeters tall with this big acrylic domed crystal, but it really does not wear nearly as large as you'd think based on those stats. It wears very comfortably, as I said, with the lug-to-lug. For me, it's substantial. You can feel it's there throughout the day, but it's not. I don't know. It's not getting caught on things. It slides under my dress shirt cuffs pretty easily. All in all, very, very comfortable to wear, and I think a lot of that might come from the fact that the case is custom machined. It's custom designed by Time Factors. I believe it's machined in Germany somewhere, and I think that shows. I think that shows in the quality of the fit that you have. I don't know if I can get a shot here of just how flat it's laying on my wrist, but for a watch with as long of lug-to-lug as it has, it really lays very flat and doesn't really overhang at all. I think a lot of that's due to the case back, which is very, very flat. It maybe sticks, less than a millimeter below the edge of the case, and that has two benefits. One, it allows it to lay flat on the wrist, and secondly, it really gives pretty good friction on the back of your wrist, so this watch does not slide around a lot. It doesn't have a display case back. I think if it did, it would have to be a rounder case back, which would really make it rock back and forth like a seesaw or slide back and forth. But as is, I haven't had any problems with it sliding around on my wrist. That despite the fact that, as you can see, the bracelet here tapers from 22 millimeters up at the case to, I'm saying about 18 is what I've read, down at the clasp. And so otherwise, with this clasp being a simple folding clasp without the double lock or anything, it's actually a very slim clasp. You're not going to really scratch it on the desk, hopefully, unless you're really bending your wrist. But this clasp does not provide a lot of weight, and the bracelet down here being thinner also does not provide a lot of weight. So I think if you didn't have this flat case back to create some friction on the back of your wrist, that the watch on the whole might feel a little more unbalanced. But luckily it does not. So those are the two main concerns I've heard about this. Again, like I said, neither of which bother me. The acrylic crystal, which is the big other feature of this watch, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not, but in the long run, I like it. I mean, I'm not sure I'm a convert. You know, I think when people talk about the warmth of acrylic crystals, I think that's similar when people start talking about whether or not quartz watches have enough soul. It's probably in the eye of the beholder. But in the long run, we'll see. If I have to polish this thing every month, that's fine. If it's every year, that's great. If I start having to polish it every week, you know, then we'll see. But I don't tend to bump into things too much, so hopefully it won't be an issue. This is actually my first watch with a screw-down crown. It's water-resistant to 100 meters. So that's nice. It's taken some getting used to. It also has a Miyota 9015, I want to say, which is hand winding. Very smooth. I actually wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if there was something wrong with it because it winds so smoothly. I'm used to most of the other ones I have make a little bit of noise, but this one is whisper quiet. And let me see, what else can I say about this? I don't know. I mean, I haven't really tried it on straps. It came with a strap from the seller, so you know, I tried it on there initially. But I really am much more of a bracelet guy, and this is a very comfortable watch on the bracelet. I think that anyone who's looking for some sort of daily wear and doesn't need a date, you could do a lot worse than this. I got it for about $350 used from a forum member. But there were just a few scuffs on the bracelet. There was no real wear and tear on this. So I feel like I got a pretty good price for it. And for that price, if you don't need a date, you could do a lot worse for a daily wear watch. Goes great with suits, which I unfortunately have to wear every day. And when I come home, it goes great with t-shirts too. It's a good take, kind of upsized take for modern wrists on a classic design. Yeah, thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any other questions, or if you want to see any particular angles or shots. I can try to update the thread with still photos or that sort of thing. Once again, please forgive the setup with the webcam here and the fact that this is just kind of my rambling stream of consciousness.